Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And this is Ritu Agarwal, and you are watching Grilled in Colors. And today we are going to do forward effect on the diary. So you can transform any of your notebook or diary into a beautiful cover page if you are getting bored of seeing the dull black colors, and if you like to do art and craft, you can renovate your diary or any notebook cover, and you can also do the same technique on any wood plank and make a nameplate or anything out of it. So we are going to apply gesso. I have taken this diary. One side I've already done because it takes a lot of time to dry, and once you are doing, you have to wait for some time, or you can use hair dryer or blower to dry it up and fasten the process of drying. I'm just showing you how to do it. So I'm taking a lot of gesso using my palette knife to spread it across and create texture. You can play around with gesso because it doesn't dry so fast. So you can just play around and create texture of your choice until you are satisfied. So I'm going to show you how to create texture. Like you can see, I'm spreading and creating texture, and then I'll allow it some time for it to dry. So because it is going to take more time to dry, so I've already done a cover, the gesso part on another diary, and I'm going to show you how to paint on that diary. So I'll show you the close up of this once I'm done, so that you can at least see some texture, because I don't think it is visible a lot in the camera. But once you start painting, you will see how the textures come to life. So make sure you cover it properly. Suppose if a little bit of background is visible, like the black part in this diary, then you can once it is dry, you can just do one more coat of gesso using your brush, so that you cover the entire surface properly. So this is one old book. Like you can see, the all pages have also become yellow. So it's quite old book, and I had this extra, so I tore some scraps of paper from this, and I'm going to use it to stick on the cover of my diary, the other one which I have already done. And I'll also do a little bit of decoupage on this book pages scraps, just to add some more fun element into the cover page. So I'm just tearing 2 3 random bits of pages, scraps of paper from that old book diary. And this is a new diary which I have already done before, like I said. And yes, don't worry about the background color. There was little bit of red, so it is looking red, but it doesn't matter, it will hide it completely once we do the top coating. So I'm going to use acrylic colors, and the colors are brown, black, and some shades of blue. So there are different combinations which you can use. You can use shades of red, or you can use shades of blue. I have used ultramarine blue, Prussian blue, gray, black, and brown. So black and brown is important. Black and brown is used for mostly distressing, and it gives a distressed effect. And to create that forward effect, when we draw the lines, we will be using blacks and browns. So it is mostly used, any combination you go with, you have to use black and brown. I'm sticking these bits of pages now, the old book pages which I have torn with my hand. So you make sure you don't use scissors while cutting the books of book pages, so that we need the fuzzy ends of the papers, so it blends with the background easily. I'm using Mod Podge to stick them, and I'm taking a napkin and cutting a flower, tearing out a flower to paste it on one of the scraps of the pages. So this is a simple decoupage. I hope you can do it without using any plastic or something, because this is very small piece, so we can handle it using the brush. So if you're not comfortable, you can definitely go and use plastic and stick it on the piece of paper. Okay, once this is done, you can allow some time to dry the Mod Podge, and once the Mod Podge is dry, then we will start painting the cover. So we'll be using dry brushing technique to cover the paint. So to use the coloring technique used is dry brushing. We are going to use brushes, and I'm just taking out different paints, the ones which I said: teal blue, ultramarine, Prussian, grey, and later on we will use black and brown. That will be in the finishing step, so I'll take it out later once I'm done doing dry brushing. These are all acrylic colors. You can also use chalk colors if you like the matte finish, but anyways it won't matter because we are using dry brushing technique, so it won't be too glossy or shiny. You'll need a newspaper when we do dry brushing, and a little bit thick brush. So talking about brush, basically the ones which you get in the hardware shop, those brushes are good for dry brushing. It works best. The more spoiled you think the brush is, the better it is for dry brushing. So I'm taking this newspaper so that when we do dry brushing we take out the extra moisture part, and these are the brushes which I was saying. So the more fuzzy it is, the more better it is for dry brushing. This is the angular brush which we'll use for creating forward effect, and these are fan brushes. So if you want splashes of color, you can use fan brushes. That works best to create some splashes, but we'll not do splashes because I just wanted to have forward. So once I take the color in my brush, I'm dragging it on the newspaper to take out the extra moisture, and when I'm sure that the brush doesn't have too much of color, only then with a light feather stroke we do the dry brushing. So dry brushing is nothing but we use light feather strokes to color. We don't take too much of color, and you have to ensure that no spotting should happen. If you take too much of color, or if the moisture is not drained out completely on the newspaper, then you might spot the surface and it won't look good. So make sure you have to be very patient, you have to go very slow, and you have to start from the light color to the towards the dark color. So like you can see, I have taken teal blue first. You use the newspaper, it works best to take out the moisture from the brush, and then use the dry brushing. So first we'll do teal blue, then I'm going to do gray color, and then I'm going to do ultramarine blue, and then the darker shade, that is Prussian blue. So eventually you will see that most of the white part, that is the background, will be covered with different shades, and it will give you an amazing effect. So this is very important, you have to go slow, don't lose patience. This technique takes time because you can't immediately see the entire surface being colored. So you have to go slow, you have to go many rounds of it, and you have to take out all the colors from your brush, and then use a very light feather touch to color the base. So like you can see, I am using different colors, and I'm taking care that I don't press too hard on the parts where I have stuck pieces of paper, bits of paper, or the old book pages which I have stuck in between. So I'm taking care that I don't touch it too much, just a little bit of shading there with a very light stroke. I'm trying to lift the brush when I'm reaching those areas, so that I don't color it totally. Just a little feather touch there so that it blends with the background, but at the same time it should not get colored completely. So slowly you can see the colors are popping up, and the texture is popping up as well. I think the texture was not very clear when the surface was absolutely white, but as we go ahead coloring, especially the darker shades, the texture is more and more clear and it comes to life. So the moment you touch black and browns, it will be absolutely clear. As of now, I've not taken out black and brown. I'm using all the color tones which I want the base to be. Just keep painting slowly, enjoy the process. It is therapeutic. You will enjoy it, you will love it, and you will develop. And once you develop the mastery over this technique, it is amazing thing, guys. You will really make beautiful things out of this technique. Brushing, dry brushing is, a very unique and nice technique to beautify any piece. If you master this art of how much paint should be there in the brush and how to avoid spotting and things like that. You can see a little spotting there below the flower, but we will cover it up once we do the lines and it won't look like a spotting once we complete. See now there, the moment I touch brown, the entire tone of the cover is changing. It is just taking up brown wherever the white was screaming loud. It is absorbing the brown color and the entire tone of the cover page is changing. You can go horizontal, you can go vertical. You just have to make sure that you cover. Once you're highlighting the texture with black and brown, I would suggest that you mostly should go horizontal so that you highlight the textures. But while trying to color up the base, you can go vertical mostly. Your brush movement should be vertical mostly. So these are all acrylic colors. You can use chalk paint if you want to, and go from light color to the dark color. And the moment you use black and brown, you are going to highlight the textures and the textures will come to life and give life to your project. So you can see, guys, the moment you touch brown, the entire tone of the cover page is different. The entire project changes. So that is why brown and black is very important. Any color combination which you choose, you have to be careful while doing black. It is very dangerous. Also, it can spoil your project if you don't use it carefully. But at the same time, nothing is complete without black and brown, especially if you are working on the distress finish or the vintage finish, or like forward is also more about black and brown touch. It is incomplete without black and brown touch. So we are almost done. You can keep coloring it until you are satisfied. For now, I'll just blend it a little more and then go ahead with the next step. So the next step is to create the forward lines. We'll use a long scale for that. I'm using black now. Just be very careful. Like I said before also, just be very careful. You can do horizontal and vertical strokes. The moment you use black, you can see the textures are coming to life even more. And you can see a lot of texture is there which was not very evident when the surface was entirely white. So when you're doing gesso, you will come to know, when you watch it closely, you will know how much texture is being created. Okay, so now we are moving on to creating the fall lines. For that I'm using a transparent plastic sheet. You can use any plastic sheet, and like you can see, the diary is still wet. Okay, so that is why I have kept ready the other diary so that I can show you how to paint. Otherwise it would take a lot of time to dry. This is a varnish from Itsy Bitsy. If you want, you can use this varnish, but I am going to use different varnish, which is Asian Paints Aquador varnish. I'll tell you about that. I have taken out a little in the small box. So let's focus on the four lines now. I'm taking out black and brown, and I will uh, just split some water, spray some water, and I'll use angular brush. I'm going to use angular brush. So the important part is that angular brush has a slanting slanting cut, right? So on the tip I'm taking the color, and on the bottom part I'm taking a little water and then drawing the lines. So I don't want a very strong color line, so that is why I'm using a combination of water and a little black and a little brown to create the line using the scale. And you can see that the lines are not very strong lines like the one which is drawn using marker or the sketch pen. The lines are rather fading out, and that is the reason why I have chosen angular brush. So when you take angular brush and when you have a little water and when you spread it on the sheet like this, automatically it gives a fading effect instead of the strong lines. And plus when you're making the lines, ensure that it is not uniform, just one this thing. And if you feel that there is too much of color and it is uniform, like I'm doing, I'm taking water and spreading out a color so that it looks like a faded effect. Okay, so similarly I'm going to complete all the lines on the front and the back, and then we will highlight the bits of paper which giving some dimensions using the same angular brush fading technique, so that it looks little better. It doesn't look the random piece, it will just get highlighted, and it gives a finished look. So front side is done. I'm just giving a distress effect on the ends for the side and creating the lines again. So I'm again repeating that I'm not using very strong color. I'm using a lot of water and lightening the color which is there in my brush using the water and spreading it on the plastic sheet so that I don't get absolutely strong line like a marker. Rather, I have a faded kind of line with a shading of blue and black. It should not look like it is like a straight line drawn from a scale. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can spread it a little and you can fade it out a little using your angular brush, and this is how you complete it. So, and all of the lines doesn't have to be same. Little bit here and there, little bit spreading and dissolving in the background. It gives more natural look or natural finish to the project. So I'm using little water to spread out the color so that it gives a faded kind of look, a distress kind of look. Okay, so now I'm using the black color on the sides to give the distressed finish and complete the project. So, and also giving dimensions to the bits of pages what I have sticked. So very little color I have taken and more of water, so that with the help of my angular brush I am giving it as a faded effect. So I'm using color mostly towards the end and water towards the end of the brush so that it spreads the color and blends with the background, giving the pieces dimensions. This voice of SMS you can hear, please ignore that. Okay, so here we are done. We'll just do the edges of the flap to give the distress look with the black and brown on the ends. that is on the corners. It won't be visible from the top, but when you look from the side it should look neat, and it should look like complete finished project. It should not look like the ends are not done. When we varnish it, it seals the entire project and it looks nice. So you can use varnish from Itsy Bitsy, but again I like using varnish from Asian Paints, that is Ecuador Interior Finish, or you get interior and exterior both in glossy and matte. So whichever is your favorite you can choose, but mostly for distressed and vintage you have to use matte. Vintage and distressed things are not glossy as such, so I have taken out in a small box because the box is too big. So if you want to start with, you are not doing a lot of decoupage initially, you want to just try out, you can go for Itsy Bitsy varnish, because investing in a big bottle doesn't make sense if you're not using it regularly. It will dry up, and that is the same reason why I've taken out in a small box and I'm using it from there. So this is how we'll just seal it from varnish. It's a simple thing. Just completely cover the entire painted area so that it is not sticky, and this varnish dries very fast. So once it dries you'll not feel any stickiness, it will not peel off, and tada, it is ready. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.